If you already see it, you already see it. And I'm here for it. When they're going to do the grand reveal. There it is. Not the Beijing cornrows. Buddy's got a cornrow wig. Now, I'm already knowing where the hell this is going. I'm already know. Cultural appropriation. Let's let it continue. We got more here?
What's his name? I got those $2, I think.
The fact that Gramps is casual. It's a regular as Tuesday at the local mall. Buddy's been bald headed since his 30s. And he all of a sudden got cornrow. By the way, have y'all been noticing the trend of like there's a lot of male like artists, etc., who, you know, are shaved head one day and then all of a sudden they got like dreads or they got cornrows or whatever it is. Drake is one of these guys, right? Where like it's like by month he goes from having a fade, taper cut, boom, 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 maybe a little bit of, you know, maybe like a 3 or 4 up top or something like that. That's its length for those who may not know. And then all of a sudden, 3 days later, he's on a stream of cornrows. You know, there's a saying, you're not ugly, you're just broke. I would also say you're not bald, you're just broke, you know. They're technically bald is a choice when you're rich, in essence. And for this brother right here, I guess he done figured out the whole game. That make
I got those $2. What's his name? $2.
What was that? No, seriously, what the fuck?
I knew, oh, whoever, you are stalking him, ma'am. Oh, here we go.
Real shit though. Who put that on his head? That
Okay. Here we go. Sis. Who put that on your head? Look. Y'all see what I'm seeing? Who put that on your head? Who put that on your head, sis? Because y'all, okay, the difference between him and you is you're likely not bald-headed. But I'm almost certain that that right there is not all of yours, right? And I'm being very kind right now to assume that some of it is. But my assumption is that at least some of that right there on your head right now is not all yours. You know, they talk about he who is without sin cast the first stone. Yeah, the sis, you are casting too many rocks. You are at a withdrawal. You are withdrawn when it comes to how many rocks you can throw. You cannot deposit a single rock at this point because you have somebody else eyelashes on. You got somebody else hair on. This brother just has one of the two. So let's continue. Let's see what you got to say about this.
real shit though. Who put that on his head?
Same one who put it in yours?
That oh, that's wild right there, bro.
Why you mad?
That was wild.
Definitely
wild.
Why are you upset? Y'all are twins. Y'all got you mad because he got the braids and them on point. I'm not gonna lie, them on point. Like if you know braids, you know these right tight. Look at that. he got a cornrow cap on. You know, you got like a wave cap. You got a cornrow cap. Oh my goodness. Okay, now see, this is the thing. And this kind of ties into this conversation of quote unquote cultural appropriation. I've reverted to, you know, not calling it that anymore, but instead cultural appreciation. Because when I see that, this old man right here could have sported anything. He could have put on a long blonde wig, you know. He could have had the Barry Gibbs sort of lion-esque hair. But instead, you know, he was like, man, them braids are fly. He could have been like Buddy in front of him right here. Y'all see the head in front of him right there? He could have just defaulted to that, you know, which is his natural look likely. He could have gone to, Again, the long, luscious locks or something like that. But instead, he chose cornrows. And to me, I say that's a beautiful thing. As a matter of fact, I not only think it's hilarious, I think that's dope that he made that decision. In the same way, if you want to wear somebody else's hair, that's your prerogative. That's your business. If you want to put on, a pair of eyelashes on top of your real eyelashes, then that's your prerogative. You're grown. You can do that. You can make that decision. If the market is selling, you are likely buying. If it's there on the market, then go ahead and get you some. Folks get so tense and aggravated about this thing of who can wear what and why, etc., when in reality, we have been sharing culture since the beginning of time. Who created what? Does it really matter? I mean, besides maybe the ego aspect of it, do you know that your quote unquote culture is nothing more than an aggregation of a multitude of other people's cultures? Do you understand that? No matter how far back your people, quote unquote, may go, you are nothing more than a byproduct of the influences that have made what you now currently are. It's incredible to me. It's like Ebonics, or what is known as, I guess, AAVE or something like that, right? African American Vernacular or something of that nature. I don't know what it is exactly. I'm going to have to do more due diligence on it. But basically a certain way of speech that is connotated with black folk. We can say, well, why white people speaking like us? Do you not understand that way of speaking is white hillbilly talk? That's where black folk got it. You weren't speaking English when you first got here, or when your ancestors were first, brought here through the slave trade. That was indoctrinated into you. That was programmed into you. So you started speaking like a lot of, the Southerners. You picked up that Southern dialect, and then it mixed in with other accents, etc., to then create this. So to even have this idea that, well, these people are stolen our way of speech. We created this. I don't even know if you should be proud of that. I would be trying to drop it as soon as possible. Like, wait a minute, I'm speaking like the people who had me in shackles, like the Democratic plantation masters? Absolutely the hell not. Let me go ahead and reverse that at the very least. But instead, it's like claiming and owning it. It's the greatest irony in my life. I've never understood it. Instead of wearing your own natural hair, you want to wear somebody else's hair who is from a different ethnicity that, you don't see as being equal to your own or whatever it is. But then you get mad when they're doing the very same thing. That doesn't register for me. I know there's 1,000 arguments around it, but none of them actually make sense. None of them actually. All of them are, it's like, it's almost like these hyper intellectualized sort of ideas. Well, the systemic operation of and the heteropatriarchy, blah, blah, blah. It's all a bunch of nonsense. At the end of the day, why is it that you can do them, but they can't do you? Why is it that you can put on what they have on, but they can't put on what you have on? Why? So, I guess we need to take away all of this clothing that you got on, all of these European designers that you're wearing, and get you back in a dashiki, in a kufi? Like, what are we talking about here? Shared cultures. That's how the world has always operated. And as somebody said in my comments a while back, it's the only way that a culture survives or a people group survives if they're able to bring in or able to, what's the word I'm looking for? If they're not adapt, that's the way. If they're able to adapt, if they're able to introduce, if they're able to essentially blend and mesh in those things that are going to be the most beneficial to their own survival. And oftentimes you're going to learn it from others, right? We went from having, maybe rocks that were being thrown, literally casting the first stone. Then we went to, certain sorts of spears and things of that nature. And then you have more advanced tools, Iron Age, you have, swords and things of that nature. And then you get to the gat. Which one was more effective for hunting, etc.? Which one? Was it the rock? Was it the spear? Or was it the blammer? The Glock? Which one? I think that one's pretty obvious. So your people were able to essentially pick up those tools, become more effective in hunting. Therefore, they're able to get better food sources in easier ways. Therefore, your survival rate goes up. It's a beautiful thing, right? So shout out to this man right here with his cornrows in his head. Go ahead and do you, Gramps. And you too, sis. He got your hair on. You've got his hair. He's got your hair. You've got his hair. He's got your hair. You've got his hair. Simple. Simple. Shared culture. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3, 6, 5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.